Okay, so here I have a better image, you know, capture of what's going on. That way, hopefully you guys will be able to get a better view of this. And, this one went over. So as it comes around, it goes under. And this one went under, so it's going to go over. Coming through just like that. Now this one went over, and I'm gonna clean up that line just a bit so you can see it, tell. Now this one's going to come across like this. Again, trying to make sure that my lines are continuing through. So over, under, over. So I'm going to continue around like that. Now coming up, coming through. And take my earlier suggestion of this initial line being the center guide as very loose guidance. Because it's like, you can see over here, I totally just merged in with it to make my edge. But that's fine. Like, this is, in every essence of the term, an art, not a science. So this one went over, so this one's going to go under. So there's that. And join those two together. Okay, so here we have our first layer of the knotwork for this design. I can't really zoom out any more than this, so we'll catch the whole picture there at the end though. So now, how am I going to get these points to be attached is what I'm asking myself. So I think what I might do is very lightly, right through there. Sound effects can be helpful. Don't underestimate them. So making it just a wider knot. Trying to keep that curve though. Just bringing it around. Really liking this though, you guys. Like, gonna do. And you can kind of use your context. It's coming through just a dip below center on these ones on the sides. And you can widen this up just a little bit there. We can touch that up in post. Post drawing, that is. So now we come into the very cool, and no telling what's going to happen, adding of layers over these fellers. Which I'm wondering how much this is going to complicate things. Because, if you can tell, if this one goes under, then it's going to complicate this whole center. And it's very important to me that this center part stays intact. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to build out from the center, or at least see if that's possible. And what I mean by that is, let's start with just right here. This looks good. I'm going to take this feller. I'm going to establish the width of the ribbon. Because that's something too, is that not all your ribbons have to be the same width, you guys. I'm going to do that just because it makes me happy, but it doesn't have to be. So this one, as it comes around, I've established this one is going to be the over. Just because I decided. In which case, this one right here would be an under. But wait, this one's an under. That one's an over, and that one's an over. So here is where our problem is. Instead of starting here and coming back in, so I'm going to change this guy's route real quick and just see what happens. Because I don't know, like, I can't quite see far enough ahead, like, thinking. I have to, like, do it to see what happens. If I'm going to have to change up a bunch of lines. But this is, again, why I do it in pencil and have a very big eraser. Mistakes will be made. Okay, so now, this actually, I think, you guys, I think this is going to work out. Because both boop and boop are overs. So this one can totally be an under. So let's keep those lines going like it's a continuous piece. Because, again, you don't want your lines to come out like that. Like that. That's not very convincing. I mean, it looks like for the line to do that, it'd have to have, like, really shifted while it was underneath. And, I don't know, art is an illusion. It is. You know, it's tricking the eye into, you know, believing that that thing is the way that it is. You know, that's where shading and rendering and everything, at least for realistic art, in my opinion, I want to give the illusion that this is three-dimensional and there are intertwined ribbons and all kinds of stuff, even though it's just flat paper. Okay, so this one went under, now it's going over, so I'm going to reestablish these lines. So it went over, so now this one's going to go under. There we go. I'm going to use my eraser to kind of, boop, do that. And now this one is going to go under and over. And by prioritizing, this one's going to stay going underneath, which, I mean, that kind of works anyway because it goes under and then over, but I'm way less attached to this ribbon placement being the way that it is. So that one went over, so now, oop, reverse it. And so now we're coming around. That one went over. So now this one's going to go under. And when I keep saying under and over, that's completely relative. This one's over, but this one's under. But whenever I'm talking about this one, it's about to go under. So it's, don't pay attention necessarily to what I'm saying, but to what's happening. Like, this is much more visual, and words are just kind of falling out of my face. So, I apologize if my jabbering gets confusing. Okay. So this guy goes over and then under and comes around and goes over. So he's going to go under here. And he's going to go over. Right, yeah. We're going to change the flow of direction on this one here. Okay, So this guy goes over, so now he's going to go under on this side. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this around. And under. I find my points of contact a good place to check and reference my width to make sure my ribbon isn't getting too wide or becoming too narrow. And this is where I usually use this center line to be like equidistant from either side of it. Just like that. And so here it's coming around. Make sure our contact points coming out are good. And we're going to be joining up over here. So I want to make sure those contact points are good. There we are. And now that doesn't line up, so we're going to change the flow. Erase those lines. Okay, and so now, look at, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. Now we have another layer to mess with. And it's this kind of petally outside layer. And what we can totally do is I could choose to just have a divergence in the ribbon, which would look like this went under, so that one would go over. And that looks very pretty so far, but just kind of to where, you know, it splits. And I find whenever I'm doing knot work and I want it to look very elvish, I do a lot of this, where one ribbon will be splitting into two and becoming more continuous and interwoven. And it's really nice because you don't have to worry about it mucking up your over-under pattern. Which can get kind of frustrating, especially when you're doing like giant knots and you're like, no! But because life is and will be complicated, I've said it before, I'll say it again, never underestimate your potential to make things complicated. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that you should be very well aware of. That as an artist, it can be kind of, or even just an artsy-fartsy inclined person sometimes, a person can have tendencies to make things more difficult on themselves than they need to be. So with that in mind, this is the easy and a very pretty route. I really like that actually. But over here on this side, opposite of it, I am going to show you an alternate route. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more of a straight line to it. And I'm going to do that off to both sides, just joining this point to that point. And so now from here, instead of deciding which one's going to be over and under over here on the point, I'm going to decide here. And this one is going to be under. And this one is going to be over. In that way, it does not disrupt our pattern anywhere else in the knotwork. Like, see how that works? So it's still under and then over. This one went under, so then it's going to go over. So this guy just went under. So now he's going to go over. So he's going to go like that. And this is something that we could actually do to where, I mean, it's over and under over here, but since it didn't disrupt the knot work at all, we could still have it diverge back into flowy fairyland artsy stuff over here. There's absolutely no reason in this whole world why you can't do both. Sorry, this is probably like the coolest knot I've done in a long time. And I'm just really tickled that I didn't have to use any references or anything like that. And just knowing my own progress, I've come quite the ways, and I'm really pleased with that. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you're horrible at it, because one day you will get better, and it feels really good whenever you do. Okay, so this guy went over, so now he's going to go under. Again, trying to make sure that those lines stay lined up. Now he just went over, so he's going to go under, which makes sense because it's going to go under. But wait. No, okay. This guy's going over, and then he's going under. Again, it's that perspective thing. I almost freaked out for a second there. I was like, wait, what happened? So he's going to go over. And it stays in line with what we were doing. So we went over, so now he's going to go under, establishing the width of my ribbon right there. And now this one's going to just diverge right back in. And something that I feel like this knot would be perfect for would be a corner motif on a page. So if I were doing a border or something, this would be the corner of the page, and then this would be going off into the rest of it, because it's a little bit more flowy and less blocky. And I might continue some other knot work down, you know, maybe layer it and stuff, but it's just ideas, y'all. Ooh, or if it were on a piece of leather, like on a chest plate, this would be coming up, and the bosom would be up here, and this would kind of come up between it, and then these would be cut out and maybe have like drapes and stuff hanging from them. So it's just, I don't know, it gives a nice flow and movement to what we're doing here. Or, you know, if you look at it the other way, this could be the flap of a purse or a belt pouch, and then this would continue up into the rest of everything, but then this could be cut out along the edge of to be the flap, and maybe there'd be a buckle here or a buckle, I mean, it's just, you do whatever you want with it. But just some different ideas. Let me pop this back into the old selfie stick. So now I'm going to show you guys the final step, which would be inking. Another thing I want to show you real quick though is you can totally come in here on like these straighter pieces if they want to be more like branches, and do like little tendrils growing off of it. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. I got this fancy little eraser that is perfect for doing tight detail stuff like this. But so I just drew a little detail coming off the side, just like that, you guys. Little details, oh my gosh. And you can have it be symmetrical. You can have them tendril in towards the center. And so with that happening, we could come in on this side. You know, and as much as I like symmetry on something like this, if it feels like it's going to become way more flowy, I don't mind a bit bringing it past just a little bit more, just seeing however it fits most comfortably into the knotwork. Make it your own, you guys. You got this. But yeah, this is a I got it like Hobby Lobby, and it came with like a whole arsenal of replacement erasers. And so it's, I mean, you can really, like, you could branch little leaves and things. Oh my god, it's so cute, you guys. Like, I mean, you can flesh this out into something, I mean, just spectacular. The magic happens in the details. And as long as you've got canvas space for it, and I am not above taping on more paper, as long as you got the canvas space for it, go for it. Gonna just do this one over here. So yeah, just some cute little ideas and stuff on ways that you can expand and elaborate. And now I'm going to grab, you could use just a Sharpie marker, but I really like where is it at? I really like this pen that I can't find. Here I have some different ink pens. I have some that are Faber-Castell that I jammed the tips up with colored pencil wax, and I think I'm gonna like either take some rubbing alcohol to dissolve the wax or a lighter to kind of like pass it through. I have a lot of people have suggested that to me, but I just haven't tackled it yet, and it is also a possibility that they're just out of ink because I've had it for a few years. But then I've got my brush nib pen that's all stumped up and funky, but it still has ink in it, so it just does a really blunt line. But here we have some Prismacolor ink pens. It's a fine line marker. What kind is this? It says it's archival quality, but I'm pretty sure the Faber-Castell are India ink. Yeah, Indian ink. And this doesn't really say. At least not that I can find. Non-toxic, that's nice, I can eat it. And this one is a 0.5 millimeter size. And I do like it when I can put the little cap on the end. But I'm going to come through, and we've just got the line work that we've done with the graphite pens, or pencils. And I'm going to do some real fine line work. And since the graphite's on there and I can't like perfectly see where it's going, I'm going to try to only do one pass over. And that way I'm not getting like a scraggly, funky lines and stuff. And I'm just going to do like this section, that way I can erase and y'all can see the difference between these sketch lines and the inking. And go slow, be patient with yourself. The more you practice, the better you'll get. And like how there, I deviated from the line. That's fine, just leave it. I almost just went whoop right across there. I'm so glad I didn't. Oh, that'd have been a nightmare. So that's why it's pretty good to be kind of careful. There's no reason to go barreling through doing your line work, except for that you're so excited because you want to see what it looks like. I mean, I don't know what that's like at all. I'm so excited to see what this looks like. And I can't really tell what I already did or not. I'd love to be able to get my hands on some of those blue pencils, like architect's pencils. One of my favorite artists, Dean Zachary, uses those in his artwork. And he's just such a cool guy. We were out to dinner with him when we were down in, I believe it was Little Rock, Arkansas, just hanging out and getting to hear his and Mitch Faust's stories about when they were starting out as an artist. Was like, I tell you what, guys, that was encouraging. Just to hear it straight from the mouths of professionals, how challenging and rewarding and frustrating all of this can be. And so now I'm coming through lightly with my kneaded eraser. I don't know if it's a kneaded eraser or kneading eraser, but it's this thing. And leaving behind some pretty okay line art. Kind of exceeded past where I wanted it to be, right there a bit. We're all our own worst critics, though. I'm just gonna shut up and say that I like it. But I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty happy indeed, I do think. Okay, so now you can see side-by-side comparison of pencil and ink. And that ink really cleans it up quite a bit. So I'm going to keep going through and inking it. And I'll probably have this up as one of my coloring pages on my Patreon. I'm also going to start posting them to my DeviantArt if y'all are on there. My business name is Back to Earth Creations. Wherever you go on the internet, that is the name we function under. That's Randy and I. So if you'd like to see our work or get some pages of this so you can download it and color it and all kinds of stuff, please check us out on Patreon or DeviantArt or Facebook. There'll be links to hopefully all of those down in the video comments below. If you guys enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, as well as participate in our periodic like fairy house giveaways, and I do art giveaways, all of my original pieces, like I'm probably going to finish doing the line art on this and then show you guys how to transfer it onto a canvas, because this is printer paper, like copier paper from the the store. Show you how to transfer it onto a canvas and then like color it and make like a big pretty picture. And I'll be giving away that original piece in one of our future giveaways on Patreon. So if you want to participate in that, please visit us on our Patreon. There's links down in the video description below. And for just as little as $1 a month, you can put your name in the hat for all of those different giveaways that we do. As well as support the artisan and I guess artist now too. Because I'm getting more and more into doing this and I really like sharing what I discover with y'all. So, but to support our education efforts here at Back to Earth Creations, both on YouTube as well as at the free hands-on workshops that we do at conventions. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm almost done with the line art, but check me out in a future video to see how this comes out. So, bye!